welcome again to AA Home Gardening. Thanks to all my subscribers and anyone new that like my content and don't mind subscribing. That was lovely. We're just at the allotment at the moment and we're getting our section prepared for the garlic planting. Now is autumn, so it's perfect time to start planting your garlic, because you need to remember that garlic need at least 9 months to mature properly. So I'm just taking out some of the weeds from the bed. So there's a lot of roots still in there and there's lots of clay as well. So I'm just going through, taking out all the bits I can. It's quite difficult because, as for those who are following, know that I just actually got the allotment not too long, so we don't have the time to actually prepare the bed as we should, but we're doing our best at the moment to take away all the clay, all the roots that we can find, and just clear it up, then break down the clay a bit more and the dirt to make it workable, because you know you need some nice loose soil for the garlic. So after I finish all of this, then hopefully I get my hands on some compost and put it on it as well to get it nice and ready for the garlic. So just going through, clearing out all of these, because they will pop up time and time again, because you know as soon as the rain comes up or any water being touch it's gonna come back up. So I have to get rid of them as much as possible. So just going through. My husband is the one that's digging and breaking it up. Now that he's finished with that bit, I just have some coffee grounds. I'm trying to encourage some worms in the area, so I have some coffee grounds going down, and then I'm gonna put just normal multi-purpose compost on top to get some loose dirt to actually put the insert the garlic. So just normal compost. Then I'm just gonna rake everything in and get the bed workable as much as possible. So just take anything you have, it could be a rake or anything, just turn it over, put it in, blend it in, and then probably it's easier if I water it down, but I guess I just put the dirt on first and then put the garlic in. As you see, as I'm going along, there's still lots more weed that's there that needs to be taken away. So as you go, as you work, you just take away some. It's not going to get all of it. It's quite difficult. I don't have the time, so just as I go and I see any pop up, I'll just take them away. Just spreading it over the surface. So as you know, with coffee grounds, it will help to encourage the worms to come along, and then the worms would poo and cause all those black magic to happen in the soil and get nice soil. So hopefully next year, after working it this year, the soil will be much better, less clay and more worm and nice soil to work with for the next year to come. So as you can see in the distance, I can see some spring onions growing there, and you can see how we made the beds. There's another video that will show you how I'm actually making all these trenches to make it easy to work the different beds, so I don't have to keep standing in them, and just easy to go through and dig out the weeds that way as well. So just going through, spreading it on, and remember, you need to plant the garlic in autumn, winter the latest. If you plant it too late, like in late spring, then the bulbs won't form properly. You probably just get one massive clove. You won't get the nice bulb of the garlic that is all divided. So we need the cool season. So for those who haven't planted the garlic yet, please go out, get your garlic in. So I'm just preparing the bed, and then shortly you'll see me put it in the garlic pegs one by one. So I'm just taking the oil now, and I'm just making some makeshift separation, so it's easier to plant if you just make like a section, separate it like that. So I'm just separating it, making a line going down, and then I'm going to plant the garlic that way. You can do it whatever way you want. You don't have to do it that way, but for me, I find it easier, so I can eyeball to see how much is in each section, and then I can get a good distance between them, so the bulbs can actually form properly, because you don't want them too close. You need them to have enough room so they can fat up and swell and not fighting for space. So I'm just going through. That is probably about, I don't know, about 7 inches between each section. So I'm just going through, taking up the the weeds I can see. I wish I could get rid of all the weeds before I started planting, but if I should do that, then I'm not going to be able to plant anything this year. So you just have to go along and make the best of it. So just going through, clearing up, and then making my sections. And remember, when you're planting your garlic, when you get your garlic bulb, make sure you use the fattest one you can find. If you use the fattest one, then normally when they mature, then the bulb will be nice and fat, and the fattest ones are normally on the outside. So when you go and you buy your garlic, so as you can see, I have red and I have white. So I have a selection of garlic. So I have a selection of white and red, and then the pointy bit needs to be pointing up. So remember, so look at the garlic, the pointy bit need to be pointing upwards because that's where the shoots are coming from, and the other end is where the roots are going to come from. So pointy bit goes upward. Okay, so these are hard neck as well. You could plant soft neck or hard neck, but at the moment I just have my hands on some hard neck garlic at the moment, and then I'm probably just spacing them 5 inches 6 inches apart. So I'm expecting them to be quite big, because if you look closely in the shots that are coming up, you can see those cloves actually are good size. So they're good size cloves, so hopefully I'll be getting some nice big fat garlic heads, and giving them enough space so they can swell and mature nicely. So I'm just going through each bed, then I won't cover it. I have an eyeball going to see exactly what is in each hole, and then I go over when I'm finished and cover them down and then water them down, because it's predicted to be a lot of rain coming soon. So I wanted these in the ground before the rain actually starts. So I'm just going through now. Nothing complicated with planting garlic. Just take off the individual. So I pop back and continue when I finish putting all these individual cloves in. Okay, so at the moment I'm just putting the cloves in, and then I'll come back. So I'm just putting in the last clove, and then I'm just going to cover the dirt over. I'm not covering it quite deep. It's about an inch over. So just an inch over the clove, and then covering them, and then taking up all the roots I can see as well as I go along. So what I'm going to do is, when I'm finished covering every single one, I'm just going to pat it down lightly, and then I'll get some water and cover it. So just go through, make sure they're all covered and that none is exposed, because you know birds will come and take it out, and if rain fall it will get displaced. So make sure everything is covered nicely. Then you pat it down, and then you water it in, and then that should be all for the garlic planting for this year. So you just have to make sure it's an inch below the soil, so when the frost comes as well, then they're safe on the ground, and then they're safe from the birds as well. And then next year we will be looking at a good garlic harvest. So the main bit was just getting the ground ready, which was a bit difficult, and with time constraints couldn't do much. But as I go along, and then when the garlic actually start growing, I can still weed around it, so I'll still be able to go through and take up more of the weeds as they pop up. So work with what you have, and you can plant in containers as well. Remember last year I got a good harvest planting garlic in container. So if you don't have any space, you can still go ahead and plant in your container. Just put the pointy bit upwards, and then water it in, and then it will stay there on the ground. And then when spring come, you have nice garlic where you can harvest the top and use it while the bulbs continue to develop underground. And then in summer, June, July, thereabouts, you should be able to have a good harvest of garlic. So remember, go out there, get your garlic in. So you need to go buy it. You don't have to be any special organic or anything like that. You can buy garlic from the supermarket, because so far I've been using supermarket garlics and they're working out just fine for me. So go out, get your garlic, use the fattest clove you can find, which is on the outside as I mentioned previously, and put it in the ground now in autumn. Okay, so that's all the garlic planted. Pat soil been patted slightly, and then they're watering, and then I water it in. Okay, so thanks for watching, thanks for viewing. Until next time, now take care, bye bye.
Like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell.